I call to order this regular meeting of the City of Campbell City Council on Tuesday, November 4th, 2025. City Clerk, could we have the roll call, please?
Councilmember Bybee. Present. Councilmember Hines.
Present.
Councilmember Scuzola. Absent. Vice Mayor Furtado.
Here.
Mayor Lopez.
Here. Do we have Yashnil Mohanty of the Future Speakers Initiative? Yes, I'll invite you up if you can lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance before we begin, and then you can say up at the, so just come up to the podium. Thank you for being here. So press the little microphone icon, and then just go ahead and lead us in.
All right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Great, thank you so much. So as I said, you can stay up for a second. We move on to item 3, which is special presentations and proclamations. And today we have a proclamation recognizing the Future Speakers Initiative. Yashnil Mohanty is a Campbell resident and founder of the Future Speakers Initiative, a nonprofit that provides free speech and debate education for middle school students. Since launching earlier this year, FSI has served over 400 students across Santa Clara County through free boot camps and workshops. And it is with great enthusiasm and pride that I present this proclamation to Yashnil in recognition of Future Speakers Initiative. So I'll come down and present this, but first, would you like to make any comments for the council and the public?
No, but I'm absolutely, it's my greatest pleasure to take this award because, you know, we've been working really hard over the last year to provide all these speech and debate resources to middle schoolers, and we've experienced this immense growth in many different individuals. And really, the award is directed to them as opposed to us, but we are just encouraged to do this even further while receiving this award. So it's our greatest pleasure to take this recognition.
Thank you so much. And are there any council members who'd like to make a couple comments? Councilmember Hines.
Just fantastic work on being able to address, particularly the middle school, to be able to build the confidence of individuals. So just terrific work on that.
Councilmember Bybee.
More of a question. I see that you're a Westmont student. Do they have speech and debate club there?
Yeah.
So are you part of that? And
Yeah, I'm a part of the speech.
okay. And do you have groups that go to the middle schools then to promote this, or?
Yeah, as a part of our speech and debate club, we have a few individuals who also collaborate with our organization, and we go to all these middle schools, elementary schools.
Great. Keep up the good work.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Furtado.
Thank you. Yeah, I'd like to also congratulate you and thank you. It takes skill and practice to be able to speak in public, and it's good to train people very young so that you can correct things that you see are important and that they feel non-threatened by that, you know, that they actually feel benefited from being able to present an organized thought or comment or something of that nature. So it's good to start early, and congratulations and keep up the good work. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you. And I have a question before I go down and present. What's your debate event?
I do public forum debate and impromptu speech. So
Great.
a little bit mix of both.
Yeah, I did parliamentary in LD, and I went up to state when I was in high school. So you just keep doing what you're doing. I draw upon those skills every day. So, and it's fantastic because not everyone has the opportunity when they're younger. And I saw the difference at my high school. We started a middle school program as well, and the difference in those students. And in fact, I think at one point we might have even expanded to elementary school, and the difference in just the confidence and ownership when they came up is just immense. So you're not only, you know, making a difference for yourself, but impacting hundreds of people, you know, really your community for years and decades to come. So thank you for what you're doing. So I'll come down and present this, and we can take a photo if you have anyone here who'd like to take a photo. Yeah, anyone else who'd like to join us? One. Thank you. Congratulations again.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And congratulations to the family as well. It's always a group event, so terrific work to the families.
Absolutely. My parents, parents' best hours judging and driving and organizing the logistics. So thank you for all you do as well to make it possible. Today we have no communications or petitions. I do invite the city attorney to report on any closed session actions.
There were no reportable items for closed session.
Thank you. Next, we have oral requests. And we do have one speaker card for an item not on the agenda, Susan Landry. And if any other members of the public would like to speak on an item that is not on tonight's agenda, this is the time you can fill out the speaker card or raise your virtual hand online.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. Great to see you all again, staff, everybody else. I was unfortunately out of town when the Parks Master Plan came to council. That's why you didn't see me. But I wanted to come and just say how wonderful it is that that got approved. It was a long time in making, and I want to especially thank Natasha for leading the consultant and getting it done. And it's great because they put in their recommendations about removing the non-functional turf, which has been my big issue for 10 years. And that adding landscape and green spaces and stormwater management, environmental spaces, gathering spaces are really what we can be doing there and providing more opportunities for our community. And I want to thank Elliot for bringing up at the end of the discussion that don't forget about our orchard. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other members of the public or online that would like to make a comment for oral requests? Okay. Next, we have the mayor's announcements. Love history? Then join the Campbell Historical Museum in Ainsley House as a volunteer. Whether you're into preservation, decorative arts, or garden heritage, you'll gain experience, meet people, and help share our cultural legacy. Flexible roles with training provided. Learn more at campbellmuseums.com. Next, celebrate and honor our heroes with the Campbell Veterans Memorial Foundation this November. 1, enjoy an elegant morning of community and gratitude at an elegant champagne brunch on Saturday, November 8th, this year from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Tickets are $60 per person and proceeds will benefit the foundation's work. Next, attend the annual Veterans Day ceremony on Tuesday, November 11th, 2025 at 9 a.m. at the Orchard Green at City Hall. All are welcome to honor those who served. And for more details and reservations and tickets, visit campbellveteransmemorial.org. The Ainsley House and Museum Holiday Boutique will be open for public tours every Thursday through Sunday from November 13th through December 21. For more information about this and other upcoming events, please visit campbellmuseums.com. Next, join thousands of runners at 8:30 a.m. on Thursday, November 27th in downtown San Jose for the Applied Materials Silicon Valley Turkey Trot, America's largest Thanksgiving Day race. This cherished tradition supports vital local programs that bring health, hope, and housing to our community. Campbell proudly ranks 3rd in participation. Registration is now open. Sign up today at sbturkeytrot.com and be part of the movement. Next, the City Clerk's Office is accepting applications for the Parks and Recreation Commission through Friday, November 28th. Interested residents may apply on the city's website at campbellca.gov or by contacting the clerk's office at 408-866-2117 or via email at clerksoffice@campbellca.gov. Next, city offices will be closed on Thursday, November 27th and Friday, November 28th in observance of the Thanksgiving holiday. Police and emergency services will remain open for business. And finally, celebrate the season with the Campbell Museum Foundation on Friday, December 5th from 12 to 2 p.m. at the Carriage House. Enjoy a cozy afternoon featuring the Ainsley House signature blend of tea, festive treats, and charming surprises, followed by a self-guided tour of the beautifully decorated Ainsley House. Learn more at campbellmuseums.com. That brings us to item 7, the consent calendar, and these are items considered to be routine and enacted by one motion. Are there any council members, staff, or members of the public that would like to pull an item from consent? And if not, may I have a motion to approve consent calendar? And if so, it would be including desk item 7.7.
Would move the adoption of the consent calendar, as you mentioned, items 7.1 through 7.7, including the desk item referring to 7.7.
I'll second.
Thank you. May I have the roll call?
Councilmember Bybee.
Aye.
Councilmember Hines.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Furtado.
Aye.
Mayor Lopez.
Thank you. That passes. We have no public hearings or introductions of ordinances today, and so we come to 9.1, new business. And this is a resolution approving and awarding construction contract with American Ramp Company in an amount of $370,000 and $57 to provide equipment installation services for the community center skate park renovation, and authorization for the city manager to execute said contract. And we'll hear from Recreation Community Services Director Natasha Bissell.
All right, good evening, Honorable Mayor and members of council. So tonight I'm here to present the skate park renovation project. As you know, the skate park was installed at the community center in 2005 as part of the community center master plan. And after 20 years of heavy, well-loved use of our skate park, we're at the end of its life cycle, and we've far exceeded, I think, expectations of how the ramps would live out there. And the ramps are currently not meeting the ASTM safety standards. So it's pretty imperative that we move forward with some sort of renovation of this project. We had to remove one of the larger ramps for actual complete failure recently. And so it's at the end of its lifespan. So it's kind of an exciting project. This project was slated for a fiscal 26 CIP project. And last July, there was conversations about speeding up the timeline of this. And in November, City Council awarded additional funds through the ARPA funds to get this project underway. So with that, we had a short time frame to get this project going. And we worked with Sourcewell to find a company to work with that could kind of get us going through this project. We chose American Ramp Company, and we entered into an agreement with them to start the design process. I am not a skate park expert. I don't skate, so we relied very heavily on the consultants and the community to provide a lot of input. We did an in-person community engagement event with a professional skater from American Ramp Company who came out. She had done kind of a preliminary design based on what she had seen at our space and what their ramps could do. We took a lot of community feedback at that event. We then did a parallel online survey with that and got a lot of feedback. We presented then two options of two very different styles and put those up on out to the community of skaters that use our park to have them kind of weigh in to kind of drive the direction, because they were very different in the layouts. Again, I'm not a skate park expert in flow and how we use all these things. So like I said, we had a robust group of people from the community who use this skate park and are very passionate about our skate park and wanting it to be the best thing that they could. So we worked very closely with them. We met with the Park and Rec Commission in May. We kind of went through all of the findings from all the surveys and the community feedback. The Park and Rec Commission kind of weighed in. And then we moved forward with working out at the skate park. I was out there regularly talking to people, engaging with them. And then our designers and I kind of sat down and we finalized everything, and we pulled in a few of those community members as well who are well respected in the skate community to help foster this design. So on the screen here, you're going to see kind of a new replication of what this process is. American Ramp Company actually fabricates these ramps off-site and then brings them to our site for installation. So the agreement before you tonight is for the fabrication and installation of these ramps at the skate park. I am just going to note that, you know, we did extensive outreach with the community, and they had expressed a very strong interest in an in-ground skate park. And while that was not the original scope of this project, nor is it within our budget with this project, I think it's worth noting that when these ramps are at the end of their life cycle, it's probably advantageous for the city to explore options of what an in-ground skate park could look like. You know, it would enhance the usability and the safety and the maintenance of it in the long term. It's just not within our budgeted scope right now. So I think this is a great alternative. So having the half pipe remain in the same location was pretty important to the users out there. And then having this kind of longer ramp down on the other side. Surprisingly, a lot of the smaller units are what is most heavily used out there, and they were very particular about where those get placed. So like I said, we did work with the people who use this park a lot to kind of get them placed exactly. A few different views. The goal too is to have this open all the time moving forward. So we're not locking and unlocking gates. The kids just have access. They wanted some more seating, so we added a few benches along the southern fence there. Let's see. And just some, some of the design elements, stairs. We get a lot of skaters within the community center using kind of the several stairs. And so having stairs inside of this park was also a big thing for staff to be included. And the other thing, I'm going to fast forward. So these are varying heights. So you can kind of see, I'm going to move this over. The half pipe that we currently have is a 6-foot half pipe. It's very large. And so for new skaters, it can be quite intimidating. So we did lower this to a 4-foot with an elevated corner at 5 feet to kind of bring in some of those advances. But it is going to be a lower skate park than previously designed. And that's just the trend of how skaters are using skateboards right now. So that's kind of the end of the presentation. Like I said, this is not construction on site. They'll be prefabricating these outside and then bringing them in. There is a portion of the budget that is remaining in the CIP project, and our staff will be removing the existing ramps and prepping the slab for the install. And that concludes my presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Councilor Bybee.
So you mentioned life cycle of the new features. What is the approximate life cycle?
I forget what the warranty is on this, whether it's 15 or 20 years, but so we're looking at another 15 or 20 years. I don't think any of us will be here, but just so I kind of did my piece and know that the community knows that I'm at the next round. That's probably the positive way for the city to go forward with.
Thank you.
Councilor Hines.
And then just to verify, the funds are existing within the budget, whether it's ARPA funds or CIP funds.
That is correct.
That's
yes, they were approved through the budget cycle in June.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Vice Mayor, do you have
No, I just wanted to say thank you very much for your extensive work in this area, and also for securing the opinion of people who are actually using the park and what they feel would work best for them. They're kind of like the best experts in this area, and I think that's great. One of the longtime residents in the city of Campbell, Barbara Pierce, mentioned to me some time ago how important she thought it was to update the skate park. She's not a skate park user herself, but felt that it was important for young people to have that opportunity. So I'm very pleased, and you managed to squeeze in so many usable ramps in what I still think is a relatively small area. So thanks so much. Thank you.
You answered my main question, which is how the or whether the input had resulted in changes or updates to the design. So it sounds like that was well taken into account, and there was plenty of that. Would you mind going back to I guess any one of the renderings? The that L-shaped one on the side that you mentioned, could there be any safety concerns from that being so close to the edge and the ramp kind of leading up?
You're talking about the half pipe or the long one?
The longer one.
The longer one, no. So if I go forward, oops.
And I see you do have a little kind of fence around
these
it.
Are, they're only 4 feet high and 3 feet. So the back sides of these all have like fencing, so they can't go off the backside, which is on our existing ramps right now. All of the bars are horizontal and they need to be vertical so that they can't climb over them. They need to be specific spacing, and you'll also notice on our ramps you can see and go under the ramps, and all of these ramps protect kids from going under them. So yeah, so no safety concerns with them going over.
They'll have improved safety.
Yeah, so you can see this one right here with gets kind of like you can't see it very well with the fence line behind it, but there is a fence on that back side of it.
I saw that. I guess it's just hard to judge the relative height, but that's helpful to know. And then on the ARC quote, if I read this correctly, it said that only $20,000 of $100,000 design contract was used? Are
Yeah,
we?
so that's being pushed forward into this new agreement. Yes,
Okay.
so there's like a change order pushing that $70,000 into this other agreement.
Okay, yeah, great. Yeah, it looks very cost effective with the discount and that being credited. Do we have any public comment on this item in person or online? No? Okay, back, any comments from council? And if not, a motion.
I just want to again say, Natasha, just terrific work on this. And every time I drive down Campbell, I'm always startled by the noise coming off of that. So it's definitely heavily used. So it's good work. I'll propose a motion to adopt the resolution approving and awarding the construction with the American Ramp Company in the amount of $370,057 to provide the equipment installation per project 25-00.
I'll second. Do we have the roll call, please?
Councilmember Bybee,
I just want to make sure that I'm reading the recommended action. I want to be sure that it's all included in your motion.
Yes.
Authorize the city manager to execute the agreement, blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
Aye.
Councilmember Hines.
Aye.
Council Vice Mayor Furtado.
Aye.
Mayor Lopez.
Aye. Thank you so much. And again, thank you, staff, for the great work on that. Next, we have 9.2. This is approval of plans and specifications, authorization to solicit bids, award and approve contract, and other associated actions for the Campbell City Hall ADA counter improvements. We'll hear from Public Works Director Amy.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and members of City Council. This evening, we are seeking council to approve the plans and specs for and authorize staff to advertise for the Campbell City Hall ADA Counter Improvement Project 24 BV. And I think we had shared some of the renderings previously. So this evening, just wanted to kind of go over the plans on how we plan to bid the project. So just going a little bit back on the focus of the project is that we want to upgrade and ensure compliance with the latest Americans with Disabilities Act standard for the public counters City Hall, as well as providing accessibility improvements to this council chambers. This would include, for the public counters, it would be the areas, the city manager and city clerk offices, the community development, planning and building, public works and finance departments. And for council chambers, we want to allow for inclusive participation and would address accessibility challenges to the dais and the podium while also converting the fixed seatings to more of the flexible seating to be more of a multi-purpose room. The city hired ELS Architecture and Urban Design to provide design solutions that minimize disruption and cost while addressing ADA deficiencies. So the project plans and specs are now complete, and the link to the plans and specs are incorporated as part of the report. It is a very large file, so when you click on that, it does take a while to open. So let's talk a little bit about the funding. The total available funding for the project is $720,000, which includes $220,000 of ARPA funds and $500,000 grant from California Natural Resources Agency. The total project cost, however, is over $1 million, meaning that we are short on funds to implement the entire project at this time. So with that, staff is proposing that we phase the project to 2 phases, and starting with phase 1, which would provide improvements to the city manager, city clerk, and the council chamber improvements. And that cost is estimated to be $480,000 plus the 10% contingency. And then so phase 2, which is the one that we do not have funding for at this moment for the entire project, it would then entail improvements to the community development planning, public works, and finance counters. And we're estimating that to be roughly $300,000. We will only proceed with that phase when we have the additional funding secured. And at this time, we're also looking at grant opportunities to help us fill that gap. So in terms of schedule, as I said, that what we're seeking tonight is for council to approve the plans and specs for the entire project. But we do recognize that we don't have funding for entire project just yet, but we do want to advertise for bids for the phase 1 of the project, which we do have the funding for. So what the schedule will look like then is after tonight's approval, then we will immediately put the project out to bid. And we're anticipating award of the project by the 1st of December, with notice to proceed sometime in the middle of December. And it really depends on what the schedule that we get from the contractor. But the way we anticipate this working out is that because notice to proceed will be in mid-December, we're really looking at getting into the holidays already. So work will likely not happen, maybe some minor work, but major work will not really take place in December. Now, most of the work will happen in January. And if that is the case, even at conversing with the contractor, we've made accommodations to have council meetings, the council meeting that is in January to be held at the community center, and any of the commissions and committee meetings as well will be held offsite. So no, we don't anticipate rescheduling or canceling any of those meetings. So we have made accommodations to have those take place at the community center. So that, again, I just want to, say that it depends on what we get from the contractor, but that's really the schedule that we are anticipating. So with that, that concludes my presentation, and happy to take any questions.
Thank you. Do you have questions from the council? Councilman Blake?
So Amy, is it your expectation that the bidders will bid on both phases of the project, or can they bid on just phase 1 since there's funding available for that at this time and hold off, or what is your expectation on that?
We will only put out the phase 1 of the project out to advertise for bid.
And then, but we're approving phase 2 though if the council approves that.
Yeah, so we're asking for the entire project design to be approved.
Okay, thank you.
Councilmember Hines?
Just the phase 2 funding. I'm concerned on approving a phase 2 of a project where we don't have funding. Is there what's the plan as far as getting funding? And then if the funding doesn't happen, does the project not happen? Is that just if you could kind of talk through what, make me feel a little more comfortable with approving something where we don't have the funding.
Sure.
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, that's a good question. So as I mentioned, we're seeking grant fundings that we actually, might be some ADA funding that might be available. And I say might, a lot of might, because not really certain, right? It's not locked in. But we are pretty positive that we're able to get some of that. That came from money from Anna Eshu's office a while ago. And it's just really working out the details. In that grant itself, it mentioned about ADA improvements for City Hall and also ADA improvements at the community center. So that's a grant opportunity that we are pursuing to lock down to make sure that we can, because this amount is about $300,000, right? And we don't really want to delay it too far because then costs are just going to go up. And so at this time, though, we will not put it out to bid, right? Because we segmented the project into 2. And we will only go out if we have the funding completely secured.
And
does that answer?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
thank you, yeah.
If I can just add on to that just for a moment.
And
It's not-
if I can jump in and then maybe you can speak
No,
to
I'm
this. No, thank you. I'm not an expert, but I know many grants also look for shovel-ready projects. So I think approving it will make us more competitive for the
Mhm.
grants.
Yeah, that,
Is it?
Yes.
yeah, the shovel ready is what I was.
Yeah, it's a
that-
chicken and
yeah,
egg sometimes,
No,
but
I'm good with that. Thank you.
thank
So
you.
that really does help us out because it is ready. And we then kind of saves time too, because then we don't have to come back if council is okay in approving the complete project.
Vice Mayor, did you have a?
Yes, a couple of questions. So I wanted to understand this. When you do send this out for bid, will you be specifying the more specific dates that you would like them to be available to do this? Or is it completely open? Or in other words, we're trying to get it done pretty soon. I just don't know if the contractors share the same level of urgency, if you will. And but if we don't put something as a part of the specs, then they may not consider that important when they're bidding. So, I mean, you know much more about the details than I do when you put things out for bid. So in this case, I don't know if you have any further comments on that.
Well, typically, we don't like to put timelines with the contracts.
I'm sorry.
We don't like to put a schedule. Oftentimes, when you do that, it could lead to higher costs. So we want the contractor to tell us the schedule, but how we can control that is when we advertise and when we want to have bid opening. So that then there's the award timeline because there's a certain limit of time, right? So that's how we can drive the schedule. And then once we get something back from the contractor, we can have those more detailed conversations and we can share with them why, like when is it that we want work to start, preferably, and things like that. And it's better to talk about it then rather than including it as part of the bid package.
I see. I hope the proposal will include replacement of the chairs that we've been using. They're about to be declared historic resources and then we're going to be stuck with them. So
We'll make a note of that.
okay, thank you.
I'm trying to think of how to phrase it. I had kind of a relate. I had a similar question, and then I'm also just wondering how realistic it is to have it in the time frame. Kind of assuming that they don't have other work lined up already during this period. I guess my question there would be. Part one, do we think that there's enough time for it to get back enough bids and proposals of a high enough quality that it would meet our standards? If we're trying to move fairly quickly, and then two, what kind of contingency planning have you done if it turns out maybe we have a lot of interest or you got some great bids, but they just don't have capacity right now, and want to start in March or February of next year, it just pushes it out. How are you planning for this?
I think it would be very similar to our plan for January work. If it doesn't happen in January, then if it happens in any other months, we'll look at what what events we have scheduled, what council meetings we have, what other committee meetings, and likewise we'll have to look for an off-site space, and it will be the community center because we do have rooms there that can accommodate for the video for the video conferencing and things. And we of course have to look at the schedule, right? Availability on certain ones and schedule it that way.
And the first part of my question, do you feel confident that there's enough time if council approves this, enough time for the bids to be open, given that we want to move on it? I'm assuming it would be a couple weeks.
Well, so with after this evening, with council's approval, we would move to advertise put the package out as soon as we can. And that should allow us enough time. So one of the things though is that with the council chambers, because there's going to be a lot of demolition, a lot of different types of work than the counter, that needs to really go first phase, right? Because the counters will need a little time for fabrication. Mm-hmm. So we've kind of built that into the timeline that we anticipated.
Yeah. Okay.
So the sooner we put the project out to bid, I think, you know, a higher chance of us trying to meet that schedule.
Okay. Any other questions from council? Councilmember Biden?
One other question, is there a deadline in which we need to enter into an agreement regarding the ARPA funds, or has that already been encumbered, or are we?
We need to spend by the end of this next calendar year.
Okay, so we're not
We're-
running into any
Yeah, we're fine.
They're
problem there.
They're encumbered now, but we
Okay.
need to spend it by the December 2020.
Yeah, good.
Great, thank you. We'll move to public comment. We do have a speaker card from Susan M. Landry, and anyone else who wants to speak may fill out a speaker card or raise your hand online.
Hello again. I expected to come here tonight and see something, renderings or something. I tried to download the plans all weekend. They don't download. The file's too large. The skate park had 5 or 6 renderings. You could see what it looked like. There was nothing. I was busy yesterday, couldn't call Andrea. I called her tonight. Couple hours of trying to download, files won't download. Got late, I never saw anything. So I came here expecting to at least see a rendering. Then you mentioned there were renderings before, they weren't in the package. So I'm here trying to comment on an ADA project that I've been following for over 10 years, and I have nothing to evaluate this on. So I don't know how that falls in your public disclosure 72-hour reporting, but the plans have not been available. So I'm not able to even see what they look like. So I don't know how you respond to that.
Yeah, could we have staff respond? Are we able to display them?
Oh, and one last thing, I don't think you should, I think you should put a deadline in the bid. And you're gonna spend time negotiating, you're gonna go out to bid, get contractor bids, you're gonna spend time negotiating, you may find out their schedule doesn't work, then what do you do? And it does not hurt to put at least an end date deadline. I have to have it done by February 30th or whatever, and that should not increase your bid. I think you're gonna end up more time hassle trying to set a deadline. So anyways, what about the no plans?
Thank you. Do we have anyone from staff who can answer that question?
We'll finish with public comments and then we respond.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Do you have any other commenters in person? Okay. Not seeing any. We'll close public comment. Come back.
Yeah, the link is available in the plans. It is available to the public from a legal perspective. I think we've met that standard. It does take a few minutes as we're speaking. City attorney and I are both downloading it, and I see it coming up here on my screen. It is taking some time. It takes about 5 minutes to download. The public's interested and Ms. Landry's interested. She welcome to come down to City Hall and we'll share the plans.
It never downloaded and it crashed on anything, not at City Hall, doesn't go through. So that was the point. It does appear.
Okay. I'm sorry. I think we do have to close a public comment period. Did we have someone else from staff who wanted to respond?
Mayor and Council. So the file is over 1 gigabyte in size. So here we have a business connection in fiber, and it takes us over 5 minutes to download. So in a residential setting, it would take easily over 20 minutes to maybe 30, just because of the sheer size of the file. And the biggest reason is we included the existing plans for this building, which are actual picture scans of the old plans from the 70s, and each page of that is a very large file, and that was included as an appendix for the bidder to assess the structure.
Thank you for that context, and I think if members of the public wish to see it, they could come down to City Hall as well to view those ahead of them. Do we have any comments or questions from staff? If not, do we have a motion on this item?
I'll propose a motion to proceed ahead with the approval of the plans for the ADA authorization at the ADA counter of the project 24-VV. for phase one of the plan.
Do you intend to include phase two? It's a part of the recommended motion.
Yeah. Phase one, yes. Phase two, correct. Yes, both. Phase one and phase two.
I'll second.
Thank you. Does that motion work for staff? Okay, could you read the roll, please?
Councilmember Bybee?
Aye.
Councilmember Hines?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Furtado?
All right.
Mayor Lopez?
Aye. Thank you. That item passes. And next we have 9.3, the 2026 City Council meeting schedule. And we'll hear from our city clerk.
Give me 1 second to click on the item. Okay. Good evening, Honorable Mayor and council members. The purpose of tonight's item is for the City Council to adopt by resolution the 2026 City Council regular meeting schedule pursuant to Municipal Code Section 2.04.020. Meetings of the City Council are regularly held on the first and third Tuesday of each month at 7 p.m. Council has historically canceled one meeting in either July or August for summer recess and one meeting in December or January for winter recess. There are a few potential conflicts that council may wish to consider when setting the meeting schedule. This year, the National League of Congressional City Conference in Washington, D.C. will be held March 16th through the 18th. This does conflict with the March 17th council meeting. National Night Out event, which occurs August 4th, is on the first Tuesday of the month. Last year, the council chose to cancel their meeting in August, the first meeting in August, to attend National Night Out events and elected to reschedule the meeting to the Monday prior. Also, next year's general municipal election will be conducted on November 3rd, which is also the first Tuesday of the month. So the council may wish to discuss a possible rescheduling of the regular meeting to an alternate date. The proposed schedule, as reflected in attachment 2 of the staff report, reflects all of the possible meeting dates that occur on the first and third Tuesday of the month. This item is being agendized to provide an opportunity for council to discuss the proposed schedule, recommend any changes, and determine any necessary recesses or meeting cancellations as appropriate. And this concludes my report, and I am available for any questions.
Thank you. Do we have questions from council? Councilmember Bybee.
I do have one question regarding the January 5th, 2027 meeting. Typically in the past, since I've been on the council, we've canceled that first meeting due to the fact that City Hall is closed between December, Christmas and New Year's. And so it's difficult to get a packet out. Is that being recommended, or is that just up for council discussion?
Of course, it's always up for your consideration, but that would be my recommendation.
Thank you.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Furtado.
So elaborating on that point just a little bit, we're not really sure exactly what the potential schedule might be for any renovation. So the idea is that we would only have the one meeting in January then?
Right.
Okay, and it's coming a lot later in the month. I mean, is that gonna, how will that affect the normal type of business that we need to conduct? I don't know if the city manager has a comment or.
Well, we don't currently have a meeting for 2026 for that first.
Correct. That's when the 25 schedule was adopted, the council opted to do the same thing, cancel the first meeting in January and then stay with the second meeting.
Yes, I realize that, but I'm just bringing the question up, so I just would like to hear something further.
As far as managing the business for the January 20th meeting, I think we're prepared to do that. There is usually a city hall closure that will be the week between Christmas and New Year's. And so we, as we've talked with the executive team and our staff, are prepared to make sure that any urgent business items are dealt with in December and that we have adequate time to address anything else at the January 20th meeting.
Any other questions? Do we have public comment on this item?
We do not.
Okay, well, close public comment, bring it back. Maybe I'll just start by saying I do support changing or canceling the August, I guess probably changing August 4th for National Night Out and November 3rd for Election Day, and then canceling January 5th, 2027. Do others have any comments? Yes, please, Vice Mayor.
Yes, and then, of course, you did note here that the National League of Cities is meeting in March. That is their congressional Congress, normally well, it is in Washington, D.C. And we do have a meeting scheduled on March 17th.
Correct.
So it precludes our ability to attend that NLC meeting because it's right in the middle of the NLC meeting. You can't just sort of cut it by a day without cutting 2 days. And then it makes it inappropriate to even go to the meeting at all because then there's only 1 day of meeting.
Right.
So is there a way that we can keep that open? Have the March meeting the week later or a week earlier as well? A week earlier would put it just the following week. So it'd have to be the week later, I guess.
Well,
You
and
do have 5 weeks in that month.
I was going to say Planning Commission
Tuesdays.
is held on 2nd and 4th Tuesdays, so we want to make sure that we're not interfering with that as well. If you wanted to have it the day prior instead of the next week,
We can't do it the day prior because
it's also the conference.
the meeting is like the 16th through the 18th, so you need time to travel. So it would make the whole week a little bit difficult.
I mean, I might recommend, because we do have 5 Tuesdays that
Tuesday.
month, which is unusual, to go with your recommendation, have it on the 24th. And I think it would be appropriate to move the Plan Commission meeting date as well, because that kind of follows the council schedule to allow items to proceed with their schedule.
Okay.
Would that work for you?
Sure. And then the other point was most city councils do take a recess in July, and we don't have a recess scheduled. Normally, we cancel one meeting as a recess meeting. I'm wondering if we should consider, canceling one of the July meetings. It tends to line up a little better with most other councils in the county because they're not around either. So it's a quiet time. I don't know if you want to consider canceling the 21st. That would give us a little bit of a break in July, except for the July 7th meeting, of course. And I agree that Election Day, we shouldn't meet on that day. Maybe the next day, the 4th or something like that, November 4th, which is a Wednesday.
I think I think changing the meeting, November 3rd meeting to the Monday is better because I believe Parks and Rec meets on the Wednesday, the first Wednesday of the month.
Sorry, I didn't see.
I think I would recommend that we change the November 3rd meeting to Monday, November 2nd.
Oh,
Because
sorry, the day before.
the first meeting, the first Wednesday of the month is Parks and Rec month. I mean, Parks and Rec meeting, so we'd have to move them as well. So I think it's better to move it to the Monday, November 2nd.
Sure.
And then I would like to agree with the moving the National Night Out to the meeting on the Monday, the 3rd. Would be my suggestion with that.
You prefer the 3rd over the 5th?
Well,
Yeah.
don't we run into the same problem?
With Parks and Rec.
Oh, we do. Okay. Okay.
I just wanted to go to the National Night Out.
Yeah. No. All right. So here's what I have. Let me know if I've missed anything. We would change March 17th to the 24th and change Planning Commission accordingly. We would cancel July 21st. We would change August 4th to August 3rd, change November 3rd to November 2nd, and cancel January 5th of 2027. Does that work? Great. Well, I'm happy if the clerk has those notes for the record. I'm happy to make that as a motion.
Okay.
I'll second.
Thank you. Do we have the roll?
Yes. Councilmember Vibey?
Aye.
Councilmember Hines?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Furtado.
Aye.
Mayor Lopez.
And could you just send out an updated?
Absolutely. Yep. You'll get
Thank
an updated schedule.
Thank you.
It'll be included with the resolution as well.
Great. Thanks so much. So that concludes 9.3. We have no unfinished business, and that takes us to item 11, council committee reports. And I'd like to begin with item A, which is Vice Mayor Furtado, if you could report out the advisory commissioner interview subcommittee.
Yes, thank you. So council member Scazola and I had the opportunity to interview 2 candidates to serve on the Civic Improvement Commission. And we would like to recommend to the council the appointment of John Richards, who's here in the audience, as well as Kali L. Khalib for the 2 vacancies. And in addition to that, we had the opportunity this evening to interview for the Historic Preservation Board, Christine Snyder, longtime Campbell resident. And we would like to recommend that the council appoint Christine Snyder to the full term expiring in October 2029 for the Historic Preservation Board.
Fantastic. Any questions from council on this? And if not, do we have any on the public that would like to speak on this item? Okay, any discussion from council? Please.
I just want to acknowledge the service of Jenna Naylor and Marianne Yoshikawa, who have served on the CIC and who did not seek reappointment, but I want to thank them for their service.
Thank you. I second that, and I think it sounds like we had some fantastic applicants. So thank you, Vice Mayor and Councilor Scazola for the interviews, and thank you to all who applied. I think everyone will do fantastic. Do we have a motion or a second? I'm sorry. Do you have a motion on that?
I move the appointment as recommended.
I'll second.
Appointments, plural.
Thank you.
Councilmember Bybee.
Aye.
Councilmember Hines.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Furtado.
Aye.
Mayor Lopez.
Aye. Thanks so much. And again, thank you for your work interviewing and all who applied. And that brings us to 11.2, which is council committee reports. Who wants to kick us off for anything they would like to report? Sure, Vice Mayor.
Okay, thank you. I will start. I had the opportunity to attend recently a water conference in Livermore. It actually happens to have been sponsored by the U.S. Conference of Mayors. The chairman of the water conference for the conference is actually the mayor of Livermore. So it was not unusual then to hold the meeting in his city. There were several mayors there from throughout the United States. A number of topics were discussed, actually very interesting. Obviously, they all dealt with water and dealt with conservation of water and ways to recycle water and to further purify water. There were discussions about PFAS and PFOS, something I think I may have mentioned before, the polyfluoroalkyl substances, the so-called forever chemicals. And there have been a couple of freshwater agencies that have been able to install equipment, ion exchange resins, to remove PFAS from their water. These are small molecules that otherwise are difficult. They carry a negative charge, and the ion exchange resins are positively charged, and so they neutralize the PFAS and remove it. There are other ways to remove PFAS, such as drying and also heating, but those types of steps are normally taken to remove it from wastewater. So there were other discussions about the whole aspect of water. And as you know, it's very important to the Western United States. There was a classic book written in 1986 called A Cadillac Desert, which explored the early settling of the West and 2 big problems, the environment and especially water. And of course, they thought shortage of water was a problem back in 1986 and before, and when the West was first settled. Look at what's happening today. You know, we necessarily are building more and more houses. We're inviting more people to live in the West, especially in California. We've already read about, you know, droughts and the lack of adequate water in the Colorado River. So it was a very timely discussion, and it is something that's going to plague California for a long time, just because we have to find more ways to recycle the water that we've used. So that's one thing. The second thing I did, along with Councilmember Bybee, had the opportunity to attend the memorial service for former mayor and longtime council member, former member and chairman of the Civic Improvement Commission, Barbara Conant, who we've mentioned before, passed, and we adjourned a meeting in her honor at the time. Her memorial service was held recently, so we attended that. Finally, I just wanted to make a general comment. We were fortunate to have had the report of the Youth Commission at the last meeting about their projects for this year, which I think, and we all commented, they're very good. I might point out to you that there is a recent study that was published that indicates that of the persons who live in the United States residents, between the ages of 12 and 17, 1 in 3 shows early signs of developing type 2 diabetes, which has almost been unheard of before. But they show signs of insulin resistance, which that should not happen at such a young age. So by all means, I would encourage the youth, should they be listening, and encourage all of us to encourage students to have more healthy diets. There's too much fast food, and they're not very healthy diets. And also an exercise program, just a regular program of exercise or competitive sports or whatever. That's my health message for today. But it's such an important one for such a young age group. So thank you.
Thank you. Who'd like to go next? Councilmember Bybee.
So I attended the library JPA meeting last week, and one of the items that they brought forth as information is a new program that they're sponsoring called the Dolly Parton's Imagination Library. And it's a program dedicated to inspiring reading, the love of reading in youth. And for residents in the county, you can sign up, go on their website and sign up for children 0 to 5, and they get a free book each month delivered to their home. And it's in conjunction with Dolly Parton, who's funding part of it, as well as other charitable groups, and then the Rotary. So I would encourage residents to do that. It's free. It's a book delivered right to their doorstep, and all you have to do is go to the Santa Clara Library District website, Imagination Library, and sign up. And that's it.
Thank you. Councilor Rahman.
I just want to emphasize the reading aspect with great enjoyment. Once a week, I get to read with my 7 and 5-year-old, and it's really quite incredible the speed with which they'll improve. So really important. I had a number of comments and points that I'd been to the Bristol Hotel Transitional Housing Community Acts and Advisory Committee met and is getting off the ground with that. That program is tremendous that's going on there. And I've had certainly a variety of comments on that and address those, but it's very important to be able to continue and see that continue. Went to the Web Course Civic Building Review. That was really good to be able to see the work that they're doing at with the new behavioral hospital that's being built. We had the Finance Subcommittee and reviewed that. I toured the Santa Clara County fire stations that we have in town, which was excellent. I listened in on the MTCA bag draft plan review, a very significant program that's going on with that. I went to Sam Licardo's town hall meeting. He had some very sobering, but very hopeful comments in there. I went to the HF&H Solid Waste Management Review meeting that talked through the various programs, the various assembly bills and state bills that are, and propositions that are being implemented, quite extensive. And then had a great economic development review by Nate, and the website's up and running. And so quite impressive program that's put there. Then I'm going to do a shout out to Cons over on Hamilton, and just terrific work there. A great family that runs that, and go there and have some Vietnamese coffee. And you'll be awake for a long time. So, but it's a very, very, very good. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Just a couple of things. One is I actually had the opportunity to attend both Policy Summit and a tour of a salt pond project that is going on in the city of Mountain View. It was very interesting because, so it's both helping them to deal with sustainability and ecological issues and improve that area, but also relevant because one thing we may not think of, but the BART project that's that VTA is working on, there's going to be a massive 58-foot tunnel being built, and we don't think of it, but that dirt has to go somewhere, and so that's actually one of the sites that's in discussion for the dirt or muck, as it's called in the industry, to go. So it was fascinating to have the opportunity to go and actually see that up close while we're having some of these policy discussions. I also had the opportunity to attend the 70th anniversary of the city of Cupertino, and which they combined with their community service awards. So it was great, very impressive at their community center. And with that, I don't have anything else, so we are adjourned. Just thank you to everyone who did your civic duty today in voting. It was busy out here. Yeah, just close a minute ago. So thank you. With that, we're adjourned.